We did a segment, Mike, with the NFL and the overview. Let's do our little wish list for the Philadelphia Eagles here. First of all, I like, and talk to me, we did mention this in the overview, the salary cap situation, real briefly, because I think it plays a factor with the other teams in their division.
Well, with the new collective bargaining agreement, the salary cap is going to go down to, I think, $120 million.
$120 million, sure.
And there's going to be a salary floor, too, a salary minimum.
Which you must spend.
I'm not sure what that number is. We probably should have got that, but that's an amount that you must spend. And there are some teams that are way under that, plus some teams that are way over the cap.
Tampa Bay is $59 million under. They got to spend the money.
Yikes.
The Eagles are at $80 million, and they got to get to $120, so they have some money to play with. Two teams in their division, the Giants are 11.3 over, although, remember Sean Andrews? Remember Sean? Yeah,
sure.
Crazy Sean. He's making 7.5, so they let Sean go make his rap music. It's really going to help them. Dallas is $20 million over, so they've got to get down before they can get back up again. I think that's a rap song somewhere. Washington Redskins always seem to the Washington Redskins always seem to
they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they always
it's that simple. The Washington Redskins don't know what they're doing.
So let's talk about the Eagles' wish list. But I'm looking at this with what these guys got to do, and this should help the Eagles. Washington probably has to cut Haynesworth. Maybe the Eagles go after him. That's not the one I want. The first one I actually still want them to go get a cornerback. I'd rather than not trade Kevin Cobb for the cornerback from Arizona. I think he's just okay. He doesn't tackle. I would rather have Jonathan Joseph of Cincinnati.
Well, I think that the Kevin Cobb deal for Rogers Cromartie is done.
I think so too.
I think the players are quoted as almost as if they're already members of their new teams, and so it strikes me. It's the amazing. It never ceases to amaze me the way the NFL overvalues, at least in my view, overvalues draft picks. You couldn't get a number one pick for Kevin Cobb, but you can get a player who's been to the Pro Bowl for Kevin Cobb.
Yeah.
Plus, they're probably going to have to throw in more, it looks like.
So if they get a guy that's been to the Pro Bowl and Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, it's not a bad thing. He was a 16th pick overall. If they get him and he plays like he did 2 years ago when he was at the Pro Bowl, fine. You got him. If you can get the draft pick out of it, good. It's at least a third rounder, so maybe conditional pick. Fine. That will take care of the quarterback situation. He's not the guy I want. I'd rather have a couple other free agents. But that leaves you a lot more money to go get, defensive line help. Ray Edwards from Minnesota.
Ray Edwards, people have talked about. Some people are really not high on him. Some people think he's a fraud. I don't know enough to know.
I do like the guy from Johnson from Carolina. And I do like Babin, who was here before. He had 12 and a half, maybe 13 sacks last year. I'm going to say 12 and a half. He worked with Washburn. You have such a short camp, Mike, to learn new coaches and everything. This is a guy who's already familiar with Washburn. He responded well with Washburn. I think it might behoove the Eagles to bring Babin in because of the relationship.
Washburn is the only guy Albert Haynesworth has ever responded to, and he might be available just
if he comes on. He could come on the cheap.
For nothing. I think Plaxico Burress is on the board for Andy Reid. I really think the Eagles are going to be as active as any team. And I'll tell you something else. I don't think the Brett Favre rumor is lunacy.
No, I don't either.
I really don't. I think you could bring him in November if Michael Vick gets her. I think that has been talked about. I read a story in the Philadelphia Inquirer which purported to say, oh, this Favre thing is crazy. And I actually read it and got the opposite impression from it. I really think that is a real possibility.
The key there was, no, he's not coming in to be the backup quarterback, but he told his agent, go get my retirement papers back. He doesn't want to have those filed where it's too much work.
Right.
If something happens to Vic, they could have whoever's their backup and call Favre up, and he could come in. He knows Andy Reid. He knows Marty Morningwig. He could come in and run.
I really believe that's on the table. I really believe that's on the table. And the fact that you know the offense like the back of your hand is an extra virtue when we're in this compressed time frame thing.
Exactly. So Burress, I think, is coming in, and people are like, well, Burress won't do much. I'd rather have Burress as my third or fourth receiver than Riley Cooper. I just think in the red zone.
So it depends what he's going to cost.
Right,
because if he gets starter money somewhere else, then it's going to be a problem. So I think they'll wait on him. I think they'll wait for money on Burress, but I just think the Eagles are going to be very, very active. One
more name I want to throw out there. Defensive tackle Barry Cofield of the Giants. I think the Giants are over the cap now. I think they're going to let him explore the free market. He had a shoulder injury surgery in January. I think he's going to be healthy enough by now. defensive tackle spot is not when they need somebody else that can clog the middle, get a push up the middle to help out Trent Cole, who seems to wear down at the end of the year.
So we let this frenzy begin, and it could end up really helping the Eagles.